Have you ever wondered why some men avoid older women even when they're confident, beautiful, and extraordinary? The truth isn't what society tells you. It's deeper, it's psychological, and it's something most people are too afraid to admit. Today, we're going to uncover the raw, unfiltered reasons why men hesitate, why they pull away, and why the very qualities that make older women powerful sometimes scare them the most. There's something very raw and real that no one really talks about. Society has this unspoken rule where women are expected to age gracefully, but somehow older women are often overlooked when it comes to dating. It's subtle, it's frustrating, and yet it's a reality that many women face quietly. And today, I want to talk about why, in this world of dating apps and endless choices, men often shy away from older women. And I promise this isn't about blaming anyone, it's about understanding dynamics, psychology, and yes, even cultural conditioning. First, let's talk about energy. Youth carries a certain vibe, a certain spark. And while older women are confident, grounded, and self aware, men are often drawn to energy they can match. It's not about superficiality, it's about fear. Some men fear that an older woman's confidence will highlight their own insecurities. And believe me, confidence in a woman can be intimidating if a man isn't secure in himself. Second, there's this pressure of societal judgment. Men are conditioned to be with someone their own age or younger because society whispers in their ears that being with an older woman is unconventional. And unconsciously, they avoid the perceived gossip or judgment from friends, family, or colleagues. Third, there's the issue of timing in life goals. Older women are often clear about what they want. They know what works and what doesn't. Men who are unsure about their own life direction sometimes feel overwhelmed or even trapped by a woman's clarity. Clarity is powerful. It sets boundaries, demands respect, and for some men, that's uncomfortable. Fourth, it's about fear of maturity. Older women have experiences, they've lived, they've loved, they've learned, and they carry a depth that younger women haven't yet accumulated. For men who are emotionally immature, this depth can feel threatening. They feel unprepared to meet someone who knows herself, who knows her worth, and won't settle for nonsense. Fifth, there's the false notion of fertility and societal roles. Yes, biologically, society still fixates on age when it comes to children. Some men avoid older women simply because they are influenced by this outdated pressure, even if they themselves have no real interest in kids. It's not logic, it's fear disguised as practicality. Sixth, some men are chasing fantasy. Younger women are often idealized, almost mythologized in media and culture. Older women break that mold. They are real, tangible, and honest. And sometimes reality doesn't feel as exciting as the fantasy they've been sold. Seventh, insecurities creep in. If a woman has been independent for a long time, financially, emotionally, or socially, men who have a fragile sense of self might feel diminished. And unfortunately, this leads to avoidance instead of appreciation. Eighth, it's about comparison. Older women carry histories, they've had relationships, they've learned lessons, and men sometimes feel like they are being measured against past experiences, past loves, past heartbreaks, and instead of embracing that as wisdom, they fear it as competition. Ninth, societal narratives around aging and beauty hit hard. Media has a way of portraying older women as less desirable, as though their prime has passed. Men internalize these messages, often without even realizing it. They don't consciously choose youth over maturity. It's been drilled into their subconscious. And 10th, the fear of commitment plays a huge role. Older women often know their worth, and they're unlikely to tolerate games, manipulation, or endless uncertainty. Men who are scared of real commitment, who prefer casual or fleeting connections, sometimes avoid older women because they sense accountability and honesty, and that scares them. So, when you look at these 10 reasons, it's not about older women lacking anything. It's about men avoiding something they aren't ready for. It's about insecurity, fear, social conditioning, and sometimes just plain immaturity. Older women are not the problem. Older women are the solution, the ones who know themselves, who bring depth, wisdom, and confidence into a relationship. And the men who can't handle that, well, they aren't ready for the type of love that matters. Because here's the truth, it's not age that makes someone desirable or lovable. It's self awareness, self love, and authenticity. And women, regardless of age, who embody these qualities, they don't need to shrink themselves to fit anyone's timeline. The right person doesn't see age as a barrier. They see experience, resilience, and strength as a magnet, not a hurdle. And if you're older and you felt overlooked, misunderstood, or even undervalued, remember this. The right person will never be intimidated by your wisdom. They will be drawn to it. They will never fear your clarity. They will be inspired by it. And they will never see your age as a limit. They will see it as an advantage because it comes packaged with authenticity, experience, and power. So when men avoid older women, it's really a reflection of themselves, not the women they're avoiding. And women, don't let anyone's fear make you doubt your worth. Your age is your power, your experience is your advantage, and your confidence, that's magnetic, undeniable, and irreplaceable. And that's why older women will always outshine the superficial allure of youth. They are real, they are grounded, and they are unstoppable. And there's another layer that often goes unnoticed, the confidence gap. Older women carry themselves with a kind of poise and self assurance that comes from living, surviving, and thriving. They know who they are, they know what they want, and they don't bend for anyone who doesn't respect them. And for some men, that kind of self assurance feels intimidating. They are used to relationships where they can set the pace, control the narrative, or play a role that feeds their ego. Older women don't play those games. They match energy, honesty, and respect with the same. And that makes some men back off. Then there's emotional intelligence. Older women have developed a deep emotional awareness. They understand boundaries, they understand communication, and they understand themselves. And this isn't just attractive, it's powerful. But again, emotional intelligence can be intimidating to men who haven't yet faced their own emotions or who struggle to articulate them. It forces them to confront parts of themselves they may have been avoiding. Also, let's talk about independence. Older women have often built careers, have financial stability, and have created lives for themselves that are complete on their own. This isn't about being alone, it's about being whole. And when a man meets a woman who is whole, who doesn't need him to complete her, it can shake the foundation of his own insecurities. Independence isn't a weakness, it's strength. But unfortunately, some men misread it as detachment or disinterest. Another subtle reason is the fear of judgment from peers. We live in a world where societal expectations are still strong and men are conscious, sometimes subconsciously, of what their friends or family might think. Dating an older woman can feel like stepping outside the accepted norms, and not all men are ready to do that. They prioritize approval over authenticity, which is unfortunate because older women don't bend to approval. They live by their own rules. And let's not forget the perception of past baggage. Older women, having lived longer, might carry experiences, lessons, and memories that make them more selective and cautious. Men sometimes see that selectiveness as resistance or fear, but in reality, it's wisdom. Older women are careful with their hearts because they've been through things that shape them. They are protective of their energy, their time, and their emotions. And that kind of discernment can feel challenging to men who are used to chasing, manipulating, or testing limits. Also, there's a subtle but powerful aspect of sexual confidence. Older women often understand their bodies, desires, and boundaries better than younger women just starting out in relationships. And that level of awareness is attractive, but again, can intimidate men who aren't confident in themselves or who fear a partner who knows exactly what she wants. It's not about age, it's about knowing yourself, and older women know themselves deeply. Then we get to communication styles. Older women are direct, they speak their truth, and they aren't afraid to challenge ideas or confront issues. That kind of communication can feel confrontational to men who are used to passive, compliant, or easier interactions. But in reality, it's a gift. It ensures clarity, reduces misunderstandings, and creates stronger connections. It just requires a man who is secure enough to handle honesty without fear or defensiveness. Another factor is the expectation of maturity. Older women have usually experienced heartbreak, disappointment, and lessons that have shaped them. They don't have the patience for drama or immaturity. They expect respect, consistency, and loyalty. And men who aren't ready to provide that consciously or unconsciously steer away. It's not rejection, it's simply an alignment of readiness and capability. And let's also address the issue of personal growth. Older women are constantly evolving. They read, they reflect, they challenge themselves, and they expect the same from their partner. Some men might feel pressure to keep up or fear being left behind. But this is another layer of why older women are magnetic. Their growth mindset is unstoppable. It demands a partner who's equally committed to self improvement, and that level of expectation can be intimidating for men who are complacent or resistant to change. Then there's authenticity. Older women rarely fake interest, affection, or emotion. They are honest, transparent, and direct. Men who are used to shallow connections or playing the game of dating sometimes struggle with this authenticity. It exposes superficiality and forces them to confront their own intentions. And that's a powerful, even intimidating realization. Finally, older women hold the power of experience. They know love, they know heartbreak, they know what works and what doesn't. And this experience isn't just wisdom, it's confidence, it's clarity, and it's authority in relationships. Some men feel unprepared to meet that level of understanding and depth, and instead of embracing it, they retreat. And here's something else that often goes unnoticed. Older women don't settle. They've learned that their time, energy, and love are precious. They don't waste it on games, manipulation, or half hearted attempts. They seek genuine connection, honesty, and commitment. And for men who are used to easier, less accountable relationships, this level of selectiveness can feel like pressure. But it's not pressure, it's empowerment. It's a declaration that they will never compromise their worth for anyone, and that clarity can feel intimidating to someone who isn't ready to meet it. Let's talk about societal expectations a little more deeply. From a young age, men are often taught to pursue youth, to chase beauty as defined by fleeting standards. Media reinforces this over and over again. Youth equals desirability, experience equals diminished value. And sadly, these messages sink in subconsciously. So even when a man meets a woman who is confident, vibrant, and experienced, he hesitates, not because she isn't desirable, but because society has trained him to see her age as a limitation. Another factor is the fear of comparison. Older women carry histories, rich, meaningful, and sometimes complicated. Men sometimes fear that they will be measured against past relationships or experiences. They imagine judgments, expectations, or comparisons that may or may not exist. But in reality, older women rarely let past relationships define present ones. They are open, forgiving, and wise. But that wisdom requires a man who can rise to the same level emotionally. Then there's the challenge of independence versus dependency. Older women often don't rely on anyone for happiness. They have built lives for themselves. Some men who are used to partners who might need validation, constant attention, or reassurance feel unmoored by that independence. It's not lack of affection, it's just a difference in energy. Independence isn't intimidating for everyone. It's liberating for the right person. But for someone insecure, it can feel like a loss of control. Let's not forget the subtle power of self expression. Older women know how to express themselves without apology. Their words are intentional, their actions are meaningful, and their presence commands respect. Some men may feel overshadowed by this presence if they haven't yet cultivated their own confidence. They may misunderstand assertiveness for dominance, clarity for criticism, or self assuredness for arrogance. But in truth, it's simply maturity, and it's magnetic to the right person. We also need to consider emotional safety. Older women tend to set boundaries and communicate them clearly. They know when to say no, when to protect their heart, and when to walk away. And that level of emotional safety can feel like a challenge for men who are used to navigating relationships without rules, without clarity, or without accountability. But boundaries aren't limitations, they are protections that allow love to flourish in honesty and trust. Another layer is the fear of vulnerability. Older women have been through life. They know what it means to open up, to invest emotionally, to love deeply, and they expect the same openness in return. Men who are emotionally guarded, who fear showing weaknesses, sometimes avoid older women simply because they sense that real connection requires real vulnerability. Vulnerability is strength, but it's also a mirror that reflects the parts of ourselves we might be avoiding. Then there's the cultural factor. In many communities, older women dating younger men or even men of the same age can be seen as unconventional. Men, consciously or unconsciously, internalize these cultural narratives. They fear judgment, ridicule, or whispers of gossip. And rather than confront those fears, they shy away. But older women rarely care about social validation. They care about connection, compatibility, and respect. We can also talk about sexual confidence again. Older women are often unapologetically in touch with their desires and boundaries. They know their bodies, their pleasure, and what satisfies them. And for men who are insecure, inexperienced, or ego driven, this can feel threatening. But for those willing to embrace honesty, intimacy with an older woman is deeply fulfilling, empowering, and transformative. And there's the fear of accountability. Older women hold space for themselves and for the people they choose to love. They are not afraid to speak up, to challenge, or to expect respect. Men who are unprepared for accountability, who are used to avoiding responsibility in relationships, often feel trapped. But accountability is not a punishment. It's the foundation of a strong, enduring connection. Another subtle reason men hesitate is emotional pacing. Older women know how to pace relationships. They don't rush love, they don't bend to impatience, and they won't tolerate drama for the sake of excitement. Men who are used to fast, careless, or surface level relationships may feel impatient, frustrated, or inadequate. But that pacing is intentional. It's wisdom, patience, and strategy combined to create meaningful bonds. So here's the truth that every woman needs to hear. It's never about your age. It's never about numbers or societal expectations or what anyone else thinks. The reason some men hesitate, some run, or some avoid older women is not because older women lack anything. It's because they reflect clarity, confidence, strength, and wisdom that many men aren't ready to meet. Your age is your power. Your experiences are your assets. Your independence, your confidence, and your authenticity make you magnetic to the right person. The men who can't handle it, the ones intimidated by your depth, are not worth your time, your energy, or your love. Remember this, the right person doesn't see your age as a limitation. They see it as proof of your resilience, proof of your growth, proof of everything that makes you extraordinary. So stand tall, embrace yourself fully, and never shrink to fit anyone's insecurity. The right love will honor you, your journey, and the incredible woman you have become. Because at the end of the day, it's not about waiting for validation from the world. It's about valuing yourself, embracing your worth, and letting the right person catch up to the powerful woman you already are.